Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the March 6, 2025 Police and Public Safety Committee meeting. We begin by taking attendance. I have Councilmember Brennan is here. I am here. Deputy Chief Woody is here. Lieutenant Rennie is here. Town Attorney Finnan. Comptroller Kara Parks. Confidential Secretary Courtney Gavro. Jane Fody is here. And Mr. Michael Klett is here as well. Okay, we're going to begin the meeting by asking for a motion to approve the February 11th minutes.
Motion.
In a second. Second. All those in favor? Any opposed? Operationally, we're going to start by talking about Route 7. It's been in the news frequently in the past couple weeks. For those that don't know, we had another pedestrian that was tragically killed in the Bellevue corridor crossing the road. That brings us to 2 within the past year. Folks will remember in 2024, unfortunately, AJ Smolin was also a victim of a pedestrian fatal crash. We had been reaching out to New York State DOT over the years, trying to work with them. We've been working side by side with Schenectady County Sheriff's Department. Can't thank them enough for their efforts in helping us, as well as New York State Police when they were available. In conjunction with that, town planner Laura Robertson has been working diligently with Complete Streets and some other mechanisms to work with New York State DOT to hopefully garner support and find some monies to actually change the physical structure of the road based on that area and some of the things that we believe possibly are deficient with that area. I just want to go over some statistics from the past 2 years for us. Total summons in 2023 for the Niskayuna Police Department was 2,007. The total summons on Route 7 were 947. Total crashes in the town were 653. Total crashes on Route 7. Of those 653 were 80 in 2024. You have to remember we finally had staffing to implement a traffic and community engagement division. 2024 total summons were 4,203 summons townwide. Total summons on Route 7 were 2,528. Total crashes were 621 townwide. Total crashes on Route 7 were 73. Year to date, as of today, 2025, our total summons are 776, which is above last year at this time. Total summons on Route 7 are 359. Total crashes are 130. Total crashes on Route 7 are 17. I just want to mention, so specifically, just to give an example, so there were 17 total crashes this year on the whole of Route 7, not just the Bellevue corridor. Of those crashes, 4 were physical injury auto accidents and 1 was a fatality. So in a short time, you can kind of see that the numbers are high on Route 7. In the past 10 years was 113 crashes on Route 7. Our numbers have decreased dramatically since 2018 is when that happened, decreased dramatically. However, we're still having a high incident of those small numbers of them being folks that are getting injured or potentially fatal crashes. And we know that to be problematic. It's obvious that the enforcement has increased. We don't have the state police numbers or the sheriff's department numbers at this point. After this last crash, we specifically had more conversations. I spoke with Major Gilroy from Troop G. He is committed to coming out on Route 7 with Troop G in full force when they're available. I'm working with one of their sergeants who's in charge of their one of their traffic divisions to come up with a safety plan whereby we're at a minimum supplementing when we're not available with the state police on that roadway for continued engagement and enforcement. And we've seen it. I have had a number of people reach out to me. State police have been out there. Again, the Schenectady County Sheriffs, they're always trying to do the best they can, but they've been out in full force on Route 7 with us. So we really appreciate that. We also, as of yesterday, had a meeting with New York State DOT. Myself, Town Planner Laura Robertson, and Detective Munger met with them. There are some things that we're working on. I'll let Laura speak about that more with regards to the actual, she's not here, but in her committee, with regards to the physical changes that we're working to alleviate on that road. But I want to mention out loud some of the things that I brought up in this meeting. The first was I asked if we could reduce the speed limit. This was with the Region 1 DOT manager. So he's the head guy of Region 1. I said, is there a way that we can a minimum make it 40 across the board? The whole stretch, so it's not 40 to 45, 40. He wrote it down. He said it's something we can look at. We further requested, as you folks will remember, we've applied for and received all these technology grants, and we have all this equipment, and we're running into a snag right now where it's very hard to get the equipment on DOT poles and on Niagara Mohawk poles. Detective Munger has been working diligently through this. Why is that important? People don't realize the value of an LPR. We have a lot of instances where we're getting calls for aggressive driving, reckless driving, things of that nature, and we're getting vehicle descriptions where we're not getting plates. If we had these technologies up, we could very easily identify in that time frame what that vehicle is, and then follow up with the driver and hopefully curb the behavior. These LPR technologies also have the ability to calculate speed, right? Now that's not an enforceable speed because it's through a camera, which we don't have the legislation to enforce through. However, if we look at the 99th percentile or 98th percentile of all the speeds on Route 7, we've talked about possibly implementing some sort of formal communications with those folks in the form of a letter, a phone call, an email, something to say to the registrar of that vehicle, someone is driving this vehicle very recklessly on our roadway, and it needs to stop, and putting them on notice. Because we're looking at any sort of solution that we can possibly use as a force multiplier outside of physically being present on the road, because we know we don't have the resources to be physically present on the road at all times. I'm hoping that meeting with DOT, we also asked for billboard signage. According to them, they don't have very many billboard signs with public display messaging, but Greg, the Region 1 manager, was saying he was going to look into that for me because I'd like almost a permanent billboard on both sides with some sort of public display messaging. Now, we purchased that trailer last year for $25,000 where we have our own that's in the median right now, but I want DOT-sized billboards saying, slow down, buckle up, Brexit, things of that nature. That's really the update I have on Route 7 as of now. For folks that don't know, we met with Assemblymember Smolin. This was on the day of the last fatal crash that occurred, and we supported, the town supported, the police department supported this legislation that he's moving forward with for a public safety message display sign in memory of a loved lost one on all roadways in New York State. And we're hoping that it garners support because we think it's a really good cause in honor of his son, AJ, but also to get more further public safety display messages out there with some sort of memorial to say, hey, this is killing people. Please slow down. So I don't know if anybody has anything to add or anything that I forgot in that brief update on Route 7. Okay. Also under operations, I put on there traffic engineer, Tom Melander. I forgot to bring Tom's actual resume. Tom Melander has been working for decades with Scotia and Glenville police departments. He worked previously with New York State DOT. Apparently he worked with the town of Niskayuna back in the 90s to also work as a traffic analyst / engineer to just really evaluate roadways. He reached out to us, thank you to Chief Halfinger from Scotia, who I talked to about this, and stated that he would be willing to assist us with running reports and doing analysis on a more in-depth level than what we currently do, which is, again, a resource that we don't have. We have started sort of beginning to offload some of that information to him, where he's generating these reports, which are incredibly in-depth, down to weather patterns on the days that things are happening. He's willing to assist us currently for free because he is very passionate about this and wants to help. I talked with Town Attorney Finnan. We're going to have to do an independent contractor agreement with him because we're disclosing accidents and certain information to him that we need to formalize that process with the town so that he's covered, we're covered, we're all covered together. He sent me an email back when I said that to him, and he said he's in absolute agreement with that, and whatever we need to do, please let him know. Under fleet and equipment, I put in vehicle upfitting request for proposal. This year, as folks know, we had 2 vehicles that were approved for the Traffic Community Engagement Division as part of the burn grant that we have to upfit, and then a regular rotation of 2 patrol vehicles that we're hopefully going to get in the next couple months. And that's going to take us in the purchasing policy exceeding the limit whereby we're going to have to go up to bid for these things. So Lieutenant Frey has been working on that language. We're going to work with Town Attorney Finnan. We're going to get that RFP out here shortly. Also under fleet and equipment, we have a surplus of firearms. Again, just to remind folks, last year we started about transitioning into newer Glocks, and this is a part of the budgeted transition for this year to purchase more new handguns for our officers and then surplus and credit the old ones. And we'll get you a list of the serial numbers that are going to be surplus for that. Don't have anything under building. Under training, Officer Michael Thomasone and Officer Brett Robinson are going to be attending instructor development course. They're currently at it right now at the Zone 5 Regional Law Enforcement Academy, the 3rd through the 14th. This is an important course for officers because it gives them the ability, once they have this, to then be instructors and things. It's sort of like the oral communication / teaching training for our officers, and then they can teach anything that's essentially DCJS approved at the academy or internally for us. Sergeant Kafaga is going to be attending supervisor school at the Zone 5 Regional Law Enforcement Academy, March 24th through April 11th. This is a mandatory training within 1 year of being promoted to the rank of sergeant. Our department is going to be doing defensive tactics training March 14th and 15th, led by Sergeant Chris Henry. He always does a great job with this. Something that wasn't on the agenda that I'm just going to add now. Detective Munger and Officer Comanzo will be attending a county joint crash team training on March 18th at the Schenectady County Sheriff's Office substation in Princetown from 4 to 8 p.m. It's hosted by the sheriffs with one of our assistant district attorneys, Nick McDonald, and it's going to be covering a variety of legal topics, including blood kits, evidence collection, things of that nature related to crash team investigations. Under citizens correspondence, I didn't have anything ongoing, but I did want to read something new. As part of the ongoing Route 7 conversation that we had, one of our residents, Joseph Yakel, has started an online petition, and he submitted some information that he requested because he couldn't be here, unfortunately, that I read out loud. So I'm just going to do the best I can to read what he had sent me. So he says, Chief Koshan, thanks for the call and time to talk about public safety in our community. Speeding and reckless driving are not unique to our town. And on a state road like Route 7, the challenges to keeping the roads safe for motorists and pedestrians are significant. But we can do things to lessen those challenges and improve the chances that people using this roadway arrive safely. This is an issue that affects Niskayuna and beyond our town borders, and the solutions will require help that goes beyond our town staff and resources. We need public safety features like traffic lights and crosswalks and additional law enforcement assistance from the county, state, and other municipal PD support. Citizens are also an incredibly strong support group to assist as well. I am asking everyone to sign my petition to make Route 7 safer for all. Please sign on and share it with loved ones. Let's get this road the safety net that it needs so that we don't need to put up one more memorial for a life that's lost on this road. Thank you, Joseph Yakel. And for folks that don't know the petition, if you go to sign.moveon.org, you can just search through there. It's called Save Lives, Reduce Collisions, Fix the Route 7 Public Safety Concerns Problem in Niskayuna. And folks can sign up for that petition and share it through there as well. Mr. Clutter, you're here. Did you want to speak also?
Yeah. I don't know how to start this, but since I've gotten older, I found out that I have Parkinson's syndrome. I have a hard time retaining things. Like you could tell me something today and tomorrow I might forget it so I don't know the actual thing. But I want to ask you if you could read that and tell me if it's true, what you said.
I don't know what this is, Mr. Klein.
Well, can you read it?
You can read it out loud.
I can't. That's my problem.
Okay. Constant roads 5-day period, August 28th through September 3rd. 36,342 cars, vehicles in that 5-day period. Average speed 33 miles an hour, 39 mile per hour in the 85th, and I don't know what this word is, quartile. 15% quartile, above 39 miles an hour, 5,450 cars, with 84 tickets administered, YTD, 255 days since last meeting. That's roughly 1 to 2 tickets in a 5-day period, every 3 days on average. There's some sort of graph. What is the data for the remaining quartiles? I don't know what that word means. That averages out to be 33 miles an hour, 50%. Then there's bullet points, the 25% quartile, question mark, the 75% quartile, question mark, the 15% above the 85th% quartile. What time of day does the data show these speed infractions are putting, question mark? The magnitude of traffic along Console Road easily exceeds 2 million cars in a calendar year, with an excess of 300,000 cars in the upper 15% quartile, going over 39 miles per hour. 4 accidents out of 600 to 700 in Schenectady County is definitely below the norm. With this data provided, it will likely increase going forward.
Now, is that what you had said at one of our meetings?
I don't know. I have to go back and review.
Well, if you want to keep this, I did it so you could,
Okay.
I'm in a position where I was always black or white. There's very seldom any gray with me. And I come off very harsh. I try not to do that, but I do. Something that I've dealt with all my life. What I am asking for is the other day was I don't know if it's the breaking point or not. I pulled out of my driveway and I had a guy in either it was a Volkswagen SUV or a VW. Jeep, black, followed me all the way from, where I live, all the way from my house, all the way down to State Street. When I came out of State Street, there's a red light there. And he pulled up alongside of me. And he said to me, I said to him, I said, why did you follow me here? He says, because you're a fucking asshole. The only reason why I went straight was so he wouldn't follow me. But he did. I got on State Street. The first time he could take a left-hand turn, he took off. Now, I was told by every policeman that I know of, get out of the way. Don't let. He followed me from there, blinking his lights, beeping his horn. Chief, this isn't the first, and I've told you this. I've been threatened in front of my house.
But that happened in the state of Schenectady. Did you report that to Schenectady?
It happened in Colony. In Niskayuna. He followed me from my house.
Where did that happen, the interaction? Did you report that to Schenectady? Did you investigate it?
No, I don't know. I don't know how to do it. I could call Schenectady. I didn't look at license like you said with that. Yeah. You can't. I'm worried about this guy maybe pulling out a gun or something like that. I don't know. I'm not allowed to carry a gun, so I can't protect myself. But I've told you about people, the guy standing in front of my house in his car, rolled down his window in a black pickup truck and threatened me that if he saw me on the road again, he would kill me.
You never told me that.
Yeah, all right.
You and I have never had that conversation, so let's not.
Okay.
Let's not
I'm saying it now.
Okay.
I'm saying it now.
But you see how that just happened? You're saying that you told me something. You 100% didn't tell me that.
Okay.
Because that's a threat to kill your life that I would have taken very seriously.
Okay.
And you never said that to me, just to be clear on the record.
All right. I'm saying it now.
Okay.
What do I do?
Call the police. 911. Call the police.
Even though they're gone,
Call the police.
I'm like I said, my memory isn't as great as it used to be. And I have some sight problems. I don't know, should I have called you the other day when this guy started following me?
Not me. 911. Call the police.
No. He followed me from Console Road, putting his lights on, beeping his horn. I tried to pull off.
Could call us. Could call 911 and call us.
I tried to pull off the side of the road, but he waited for me to take off. These are things that I've been faced with for the past 5 years since I moved back into Niskayuna. I've been trying to bring it up at meetings. I don't know what to do. I get angry, I get mad, and my wife, I know my wife bought me an Alexa app thing, and she said, here, you can do this, and you can ask her stuff, and she'll background check things for you. So I asked her, what is safety? She came up with 10
Words, like words definitions,
Yeah,
different.
and none of them in there say, wait until something happens. Every one of the things are protect, to save, to do things. And I know you guys, you asked for a joke. One of them in there says condoms. I thought that was the strangest thing.
Sounds like everyone's on the same page, because we need immediate action if someone feels threatened. Calling 911, I know Chief had suggested that to you before, because that's immediate. Let me just have an idea. And also calling 911, unless I'm wrong, I think dispatch center will help you determine which
Yeah, right.
county to dispatch to you. So you don't have to make that decision. They'll help you with that as soon as you call.
I tell them I live in this unit and
Okay.
when I was having trouble with my phone, as he knows, I was calling the police department and I didn't know I was called, so I finally had to buy a new phone, and I've had a lot of help from the patrolmen and things. Now, another thing I found out that you're short help. And because of that, the town is suffering with not suffering on your end, we're suffering because you haven't got enough people to do a full 100%, I guess I'm trying to say, or maybe it's not 100% or even 90. And I've talked to the Schenectady Sheriff's Department. They said they'd be more than willing to help you, but you need to ask. I can't. I've talked to the, well, I'm just
Deputy Chief Twitty, did we?
I talked to the sheriff's department.
lieutenant. He's a lieutenant of the traffic division.
Deputy Chief Twitty can speak to that. Go ahead and speak to Deputy Chief
I
Twitty.
have spoken to Lieutenant Johnson several times. Speak to him all the time. He knows about this town. He knows about Council Road. He knows about Route 7. He's got his officers on Route 7 right now. He's out and about all the time. I also speak to Lieutenant Girasti, who's their administrative lieutenant. We speak constantly about the town in Niskayuna and what the sheriff's office can provide the town in Niskayuna. We have a very close relationship. We've all come through the ranks together. We're very close. We speak quite often. So whatever someone is telling you or whatever you think they're telling you, I am telling you here in this meeting that I talked to Lieutenant Johnson and Lieutenant Girasti probably weekly. So
Did they tell you that they would be willing to send some patrolmen out
they
there
do send patrolmen out all the
on
time.
routes?
They're on Route 7.
Non Council
this
Road, I'm asking about.
Yes, Council Road also. Council Road is a county road, so that is what they.
Well, that's what I asked him, and he said, but you, and I asked, I think may have been the same sergeant you talked to in the state police, staff sergeant.
Definitely not. Sergeant Howell? Sergeant Howell?
I don't, I'm lousy at names. The state police said that they would help, but I can't ask for it. That has to come from the town, has to come from state, because they're state police. What I am asking for is to keep doing what you're doing. I realize now why you're in the position you are. And that things are very hard. I mean, I worked for the state for 27 years, and I know when we were shorthanded, people had to work overtime and all this other stuff until we could get full staff. And that I appreciate. I just don't know what to do next. I've gone to 10 months of board meetings. I've come to makes my 6th, I think, of these meetings. There has to be a happy medium in there someplace where if I see people slowing down, I'm not going to bother you at all. You won't even know I exist unless somebody bugs me. I'm just asking that we have a happy, healthy, safe community where I live. I've lived there for over 40 some odd years. And that's all I'm asking for. If I get harsh or I get very frustrated because I come from where if you had a problem, you went to my supervisor, he straightened it out, and there was no more problem. now that I know your problem, I can be more, but I understand the problem. I'm not going to try and outwit you. I can't outwit you. Just a high school graduate. But I am a taxpayer. And it's getting to the point where, what can we do as taxpayers? Am I doing the wrong thing? Am I doing the right thing? I don't know, because I don't see nothing going forward or nothing slowing down on my road. It's just not even a 3/4 of a mile road. And today, just coming out here today, I almost got sideswiped because a guy coming down the hill, and I had to gas the car to get across the road. He never once slowed down. But why can't you guys as a town come out and say, I've said this before, I don't know, maybe you didn't, that you, the town supervisor and our public safety officer go on the TV and say, enough is enough. In the town of Niskayuna, like all counties in the state of New York, we are going to enforce the speed limit of the road. There's no more grace. There's no more this. And whether you do it or not, that's up to you. But you're letting the public know, and you're giving them, help me out with the word.
Notice?
Yes. That Niskayuna is not going to take it anymore. But you have to do it.
I would argue that we have been doing it.
But the people don't know you are.
Well, I went and stood on the $1 million stairs at the Capitol to support, which I've never done before, Mr. Small with his legislation. We held a press conference where we had all the stakeholders involved for Route 7, and we talked about stats townwide. So I don't know that you're receiving the message, but the information from the town has been unequivocally over the past year and a half presented out loud of all the things that we are doing.
Why can't you try this? Go to channel 6, 10,
Mr. Clark.
13, and 9.
Listen,
And just say to
this
them,
is the
look,
same conversation that we have put that information. They don't always pick up. I do press releases all the time. I don't pick them up. We are putting information out. We're trying to, that's why we're buying billboard signs that have camera technologies in them. So we're hanging up LPRs, applying for grants. Like what I'm suggesting to you is we're doing all these things to come up with more creative ways. I talked about a letter campaign kind of a concept or email campaign for the top % speeders. We are trying to do those things and we are working towards them and we're saying it out loud. We're on camera right now, right? We're constantly putting that information out there. So whether
you don't think it
that,
would work if you went to channel 6, 10, 13, and 9 and say that as of right now, we will enforce the traffic laws, rules in the state of New York?
that's what we do. We do that.
Can I ask you why it wouldn't be more effective to do
Isn't
that?
it common knowledge that that's the job of our,
It's not common knowledge, man.
that's the law. That's
We enforce all
what
the
they do.
laws.
Yeah.
It's not common knowledge. I talk to a lot of, I don't want to keep this.
Okay.
I talk to a lot of people that say, like that guy that was behind me probably figured out he could go down that road as fast as he wants to without nothing happening to him. Because that's the way it felt to me. I was in his way because I was doing what the law says to do. I'm not getting any backing from the town for going down my road doing what the law says to do.
You can call us. If you would call us, we would come out and we would have dealt with it. That's our backing. That's what we can offer you in that moment.
Okay. I don't know what you're going to do if the guy is gone.
We're gonna investigate it.
Okay.
That's what we do.
All right.
That's all we can do, Mr. Clark. Like
I know
I
that's
told you this before. We can't be. That's why we're calling on all the resources. We talk about Route 7, but we're talking about it townwide. We're calling on the resources because we are asking for more help because we need more help. That's what I just talked about. And we're using technologies as a force multiplier. We're getting the public messaging out there as much as we can. Like I said to you, I've never done a press conference on the side of Route 7. right? With the state police, the Schenectady County Sheriff's Department, assembly members, senators, never done that. I'm doing that to draw attention to the fact that we need to put people on notice that something specific to Route 7 at this moment is going on that's tragic and we gotta fix it. But that encompasses the whole of this, I've said out loud, we are out there enforcing the laws.
People I've talked to just say that, they've known and told me that if they want to get from point A to point B, don't go on Route 7 or Central Avenue, Council Road's the easiest way. It's only a mile and a half, not even a mile and a half long in the town of Niskayuna.
It's a major road. That's what a county road is. It's the
So,
same thing with Rosendale, it's the same thing with St. David's, right? Those are heavy feeding roads. River Road,
but that's why I'm saying something. I think this is my thoughts. And from talking with my neighbors, that something, if they see it, or if I went out there and I saw somebody go, I know you're not gonna believe me. If 10 cars went down by me going 30 miles an hour or less, I'd be, yay. When I'm walking down the road and somebody pulls over to the side so I can walk down the road, I wave to them and say thank you. But it's not changing. What you're doing is not changing. It's staying the same.
but as we've talked about before, in my role, in the limited capacity that I have, I don't engineer the road.
I understand that, but isn't your job
Let me
to?
finish. I don't control where I set the speed limit set. I've told you this before, through all the analysis that we've done, that there could be an argument to theoretically, based on the current standards, raise the speed limit because of how few crashes happen. Hang on, how few crashes happen now? Is the dynamics of the road with the curvature, is that why it's set there? Yes, because there are some, but there are straightaways where, I look today, I think we've had maybe 1 or 2 crashes as a whole on Council Road. That's, the numbers don't justify that, in the speed data doesn't justify anything other than us continue to educate, and when we're available, dedicate resources there for enforcement, which is what we do.
Okay, could you get one of those new, what do you call them, LPRs, and put it by our house, by that one section that's only 3/4 of a mile long? And get some of these people and say, like you said,
That's
good
the goal.
idea.
That's the goal. The goal is to.
Do you have one that you could put there?
Currently, no, because even our mobile ones we've attached to trailers, and we're still working through the kinks on some of the technology back end. But yes, at some point, it will absolutely be on Council Road to be a part of that solution.
Okay.
Yeah, certainly.
So,
Okay.
thanks, Keith.
Moving on, Coffee with the Cops going to be at the Senior Center the 3rd Tuesday monthly. Come see us. Our Cops and Kids Reading Program moves on. Hillside is the host school for March. Under the town clerk, the peddling and soliciting, no soliciting registry. I thought we had the public hearing on our, is that?
We did.
I think that was a mistake. I need to take that off. And anything else from Michelle about that? Under court and town attorney, I'm just mentioning this out loud. We continue to have extreme risk protection order cases, unlicensed dog cases, bus patrol hearings, and parking ticket cases that are ongoing. I'm keeping this on for Elena and for the judges only because there has been an increase in overall workload for those things. Did you have anything for the fire department, chief?
Not specifically for the fire department, more for the town, and speaking to the pedestrian incidents that we've had. It's more than just a Route 7 problem. We've had fatalities on Balltown Road, St. David's Lane, including residential side streets where, the speed limit is already set low. Pedestrians don't seem to be educated maybe as much as they could be regarding what the rules of the road are, what side of the road that they should be walking on. Is there something maybe we could potentially do as a public education campaign, whether it's joint or coming out of the town, just to try and get something out to educate
So
people?
GTSC, we do that annually, where we actually do like a pedestrian week, where we go out to our hotspot areas like State Street or like Route 7, believe it or not, and this is another stat that I like am awestruck by, but the ridership on the bus route across from Bellevue, my understanding that would be the north side, that bus stop is maybe 4 to 5 people a day. And yet in that area, we've had two
Yeah.
fatal crashes last year. So we try to be very targeted with that,
Sure.
but we could certainly during that wave through GTSC, we could do a public information campaign townwide and through our Facebook and stuff like that to put more information out. Yes.
Something, because some of this is a behavioral problem as well, that we're not gonna be able to control. I mean, for example, just on my way here, I watched I believe he was a high school student, almost get hit twice trying to cross Knott Street because he kept running against the crosswalk. And he didn't have the right of way to travel, just kept darting out into traffic, and he was in a crosswalk. I mean, some of this is a behavioral issue that's not gonna be changed, overnight. But it's not all just the roads, it's not all just the speeds, some people have to take some, personal responsibility on some of this stuff too. And if they understand what the rules and regulations are, what the laws are, and how they can be safe, maybe it'll be better for the town to be able to put that information out.
This is also something, it's not on here, but, as part of our ongoing conversations about having an SRO program for the school district, this would be the messaging and the teaching that we would be doing if we were actually back in the schools to that capacity to help assist with that.
Agreed.
So that's something that we're working on also, because I think it is, we have to start young training to then move up into that, adult
Yes.
drivership level and everything else and pedestrian level potentially. But I will say, I continue to say out loud, you've seen in the paper too, that I've said, if you're crossing a road, look for a crosswalk. Use the crosswalk signals, make sure that you're in the crosswalk. The safest way to cross the road is to go to a crosswalk and crosswalk. So
Absolutely. Thank you.
thanks for that, Chief. The school district, we still have on the Rosendale Road School Speed Zone. We had to move that to this month for a resolution call for a public hearing, but it's going to be for this month. Under personnel, we are canvassing the current list. We have 2 open positions with even more impending retirements potentially coming. And we're hoping that we can find at least 1, if not 2 people to fill those slots for this upcoming class. Under other, we still have the Town of Niskuna event application, town code, and road closures going on. I talked to the supervisor about this. I know that we had some sample language she's been working on for this. And I'm hoping that I don't know if it's gonna be on for this month, but I'm hoping within the next month or 2, we'll have some sort of resolution to present forward, in a public hearing. Under resolutions, the only thing I have is a resolution to call for a public hearing for a school speed zone. Again, that's on Rosendale Road. Did anybody have anything else to add? Of course.
I'm Chief Bodie, I'm community programs. I have an event and I just wanted to kind of throw it out there just in case there's any traffic issues with it. Is we're gonna do a paint recycling on April 12th, which is a Saturday at Blatnick, Lower Blatnick, but by the baseball fields. And I just wanted to put it on your radar and also if there's anything I need to do with that, because there will be a little bit of extra traffic on River Road because of that. Last year when we did it, there was probably about 600 people that we got to come and do their paint recycling. So we're gonna do it 8 o'clock to 12.
What day of the week is it on?
It's a Saturday. Yeah. So if there's
What we can do
anything
is
that
we
I
can-
need to do, if I need to get combs or.
We'll talk about that afterwards. Yeah, we'll see if we can't get one of the officers over there to assist you with
Yeah,
traffic.
I mean, I think we could, there's going to be assistance with the people that are doing it. It's the same people that green recycling. But if there's anything else I need to do, just, sure that I know.
Okay.
So it's out there.
So, does anybody else have anything? Okay, then I just need a motion to adjourn. Second.
Second.
That's a favor. This is going to conclude our meeting at 4:09 p.m. The next meeting will be on April 3rd, 2025 at 3:30, and we look forward to seeing everybody there.
Thanks, Jeremy.